He's lying. You don't think he reviewed this video? At the very least, he's a liar.
What's up, Good Drill Nation? I'm sitting next to
Coach Ross.
Today we are going to break down a Steph Curry lower body mechanics video, and a little hint, this guy right here thinks Steph is a fraud. Anyway, we're going to go through this footage, and at the end, we're going to let you know if we think it is a good or bad drill.
Let's get into it.
So let's watch the greatest shooter of all time break down lower body mechanics. He is by far the greatest shooter of all time, so he should know what he's talking about.
He should, and if he doesn't give information that's going to lead people to shoot like him, I believe it's fraudulent.
That's so crazy you say stuff like that, but anyway, let's go.
Greatest shooters are great at using their legs as the foundation for their shot. They don't shoot with their arms. They shoot with their legs first so they get that energy, that flow, and that motion and that power through their jump shot, and everything else is kind of a flow from there.
What do you think about that?
First of all, I think players definitely shoot with their arms. I think Steph Curry shoots with his arms. To say you're shooting with your legs, how that's interpreted from a mass of different people will be insane.
Yes.
Some people will take you shoot with your legs and say, okay, now I have to make sure I get extremely low when I shoot. You're just misleading people, and it becomes not goal-oriented.
It is nuanced, and there are times, it doesn't happen often, that I will bring some attention to the body, but typically I am not trying to bring any attention to the kid I'm training to their body. Use your legs. That doesn't mean anything. And it could, like you just said, it could mean 1,000 different things to 1,000 different people. So you hear dad screaming from the sideline, use more legs, use more legs. What the heck does that mean? You want me to kick the freaking ball in the hoop? And to say that we don't use our upper body or our arms, that's crazy. We shoot the ball with our arms.
Because if I were going to break it down also further biomechanically, I would say the purpose of using your legs, the purpose of bending your knees is to give you leverage with your upper body, to give you put you in a more advantageous position so that you can spend less energy with your upper body. But it's your upper body doing the work, and that's how I perceive it, and that's what I think is actually important. So if I think that that's what's important when I shoot, and he's saying you shoot with your legs.
He did get back to flow, though, and he said the best shooters shoot with a flow. So I think he is saying what we believe, but it's very hard to communicate this because how we communicate this is dependent on who we're communicating it to, and that is not talked about enough.
So the best way to get into that position, obviously we talked about 10 toes to the rim.
All right. 10 toes to the rim does not help you. So his first point is we need to shoot with our legs. And now to shoot with our legs, we need 10 toes to the rim. That doesn't make any sense to me. And now if we watch him shoot in games, what do we see?
They're usually all faced not towards the rim. They're usually all faced left of the rim, usually. But sometimes they're towards the rim, sometimes they're not. Sometimes it's 5 toes, sometimes it's no toes.
I am not ever worried about 10 toes to the rim. The only time that's ever close to happening is typically in a foul shot.
And we have to just get back to why are we doing this? Why would we take a video that the greatest shooter of all time is making and saying that this is going to help somebody become a better shooter? Because we've both been in a situation as a player where we're giving information and looking back at it, that information slowed us down. And then we're working with players in real life and we see it happen all the time where they're misled and they're confused and all they need to do is learn how to trust themselves like he did. And now he's giving information to other people and causing a chain that's just not going to help people get better at shooting. And that's just a fact. It's not going to get you better at shooting.
I don't know this. I think to say that listening to this, getting a ball in your hand and taking shots isn't going to get you better at shooting is crazy, but I do know your point. I hear you. I understand what you're saying. But if this motivates people to get on the court and off the freaking couch and to start shooting a basketball, 10 toes to the rim is not wrong. The problem is you start focusing on things that are not going to move the needle with your shooting. Now, we're going to get into here. I guarantee he starts saying things, right? Starts communicating things that he doesn't do when he plays. Let's get into it.
Loading our hips, our backside, and getting into this good shooting position, this good, well-balanced athletic position is key.
again, you're bringing more focus to the body, loading the hips, loading the backside, getting into this 10 toes to the rim. All of this is communicating focus on the body and not the goal, which is putting the ball in the hoop. So it's a dangerous path, because this is why I see such rigid young hoopers when they shoot. I think it's why I see more quirks and just hitches in shots, because they are just so tense. I'm thinking about my feet, my toes got to be here, my elbow has to be square, my freaking everything has to be lined up perfectly. If that's what you're thinking about, you're not focused on putting the ball in the hoop, and that's why we see these rigid jump shooters.
This is hurting players.
No.
Yes, This is hurting players. There are players out there that are 13, 14, 15 years old that look at Steph and he is their idol. He is the one that they want to shoot like. Oh, he made a video about how to shoot. I'm going to follow exactly that. And I'm picturing people that come to our gym that would watch his video and take every word that he says verbatim. And they would do everything he says and continue to struggle because they're getting further and further from trusting themselves. This is not what people need. If people get on the court and they just shoot and shoot with an intent and a focus and use feedback, they will get better. But the problem is everybody thinks that they're just one tip away from becoming an amazing shooter. You are not one tip away. You are hours and hours and hours of intensely focused work where you're getting feedback and you're trying to actually improve yourself. You're not listening to this video and getting your shot better. You are getting worse by listening to this video. You are wasting time.
You're not getting worse, but you are wasting time.
You're getting worse. Let's continue.
We don't want to have our knees bent in. We call that valgus. We don't want to have our knees bent.
We got to find clips right now. I could find 100 clips of him shooting in a game with his knees in. I could also show you hundreds of other phenomenal shooters with their knees in. Creates a triangle. Triangles are good. Not to get into that right now. This is a crazy thing to say. Again, focused on your body and your knees not coming in. Again, I can show not just basketball players, clips of the best athletes on this planet doing whatever sport it is with their knees in.
Not just basketball players, not just sometimes. It's probably most times you watch somebody shoot, there is some form of valgus that's happening. For some reason, I'm thinking about skimboarding. All of them, valgus, the best skimboarders in the world, the best surfers in the world. When we talk about balance, that's what's actually important for balance. So I don't know what he's talking about when it comes to balance.
So again, he had some trainer at some point in his life tell him that we don't want to go valgus. And he believes that to be true. I do not, this isn't fraudulent. This isn't him communicating something that he doesn't believe. He believes that he does this and did this. But again, we can show he believes that. He does.
I don't believe that he believes it.
Yes, he does.
I believe he's watched himself enough. He's seen highlights of himself enough where he's seen himself go valgus all the time. And for me not to think that Steph Curry's an attentive person would just be ridiculous. He's a very attentive person. He's seen himself shoot. He is a very smart person. For him to be making this video about valgus not being important is crazy. It's a lie. It's a lie. He's lying.
He's not lying. He believes this.
He believes, so you don't think that he's ever seen himself shoot with valgus, or that he doesn't see himself pretty much every time he shoots, shoot with valgus?
He doesn't do it every time, because I saw this clip this morning and I started looking for videos. He does it sometimes, and on his foul shots and stuff like that, he's not valgus.
On his foul shots, when he doesn't
what's he
need to
doing
be.
right now? He's at the foul line.
Okay. Lower body shooting mechanics.
We want to have everything squared, shoulders, toes, hips all on the same line. And we don't want to have our knees in front of our toes.
He's lying. He's a liar. He's a liar. He's a liar. He's a liar. Knees not in front of your toes. He's lying. Bobby, if you don't think he's lying, you either think he's either lying by saying this or he's completely unconscious.
He's trying to teach players how to get balance in this stationary position. That's what he's doing right now. He is not thinking outside of this moment right here, standing still and trying to find balance. So he is communicating in his mind. This is what he believes will find balance in this position. He is not taking into account what happens in the game.
Don't defend him. Do not defend him. I love Steph Curry.
It doesn't sound like it.
He's in 79% of my videos.
This guy has never done anything wrong in his life in terms of media or anything. Has had all the spotlight on him for years. You hear nothing but good things about him. To call somebody like this fraudulent is insane.
It's fraudulent what he's saying right now.
What do you define fraudulent? Bring up the definition. This is not fraudulent.
To defend this talk right now is crazy. What he's saying right now is a lie.
It's not a lie.
It's a lie.
I don't agree with it, but it's not a lie.
Let's bring up the definition of a lie.
Then we lose our balance. All right, we want to have our knees behind our toes, loaded into our hips, loaded into our glutes. And from there, you can basically be able in a great athletic position to be able to.
He's lying. His knees are going over his toes. You don't think he reviewed this video? At the very least, he's a liar.
We do
He's
teach
putting on a
athletic
show.
How do we teach athletic posture?
Knees bent, chest up.
You bend your knees until what?
Until your heels come up.
Okay.
But that's not for the purpose of telling somebody how to execute a skilled movement like shooting, dribbling. We're not saying that you need to do that. This is for the purpose of a starting position so that we can have efficient movement of a drill.
Okay.
He's teaching somebody how to shoot, knees bent, chest up. Knees don't go over your toes. His knees are over his toes.
Rise out of your shot and really explode through your core.
Explode through your core.
He's a liar.
Explode through your core. I do like that.
Liar. He's pissing me off. He's a liar.
He's not a liar.
So then what is this?
This is what he believes he does.
You don't think he
This happens
You
all
don't
the-
think he reviewed this video?
I believe he reviewed this video and he believes this is what he does.
And he saw this part of it?
Yes.
He saw that part?
Yes.
And he still doesn't think that it's knees over. So in fact, I did see Steph, the whole, if you could recall, I saw a video of Steph with, he's ordering something and it's like Steph is like so delusional because he thinks he's going to win at everything and nobody can say no to him. And he ordered, oh yeah, I'll take the Bronzino or something. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. We don't have any Bronzino. Okay, I'll go with the Bronzino. Like nobody could say no to him. So maybe there's some truth to that.
Not maybe.
Yeah, so maybe he watches his video. Yep, my knees were all the way far back, see?
One more.
And really explode through your core.
I just love that.
that's where
What does that mean?
Bro, I cannot.
Explode. Where's the explosion? Do you see play that back.
He must see it
Play
then.
it back. Play it back. Explode
and
through
really
the core.
explode through your core. So that's where.
But we say things. He's saying things. This is shot for a master class. He's trying to teach young guy, and he's just saying things.
When do I say anything?
All the time you
When
say
do I
things.
say things that I don't believe in?
All the time.
When? Say one time.
I think you right now going so hard on the word fraudulent and calling him a liar is you exaggerating.
So I went back on it and I said he is either a liar or non-attentive, and I'm going to add a third one, which is it cannot accept anything. His brain does not see clearly.
I think
those
to
three
get so
things.
worked up over somebody shooting a basketball is insane.
The problem is I see players being led down the wrong path, and they're frustrated, and they really care about becoming
So
really
you're trying
good
to
at this
change
sport.
the industry.
I'm not trying to change the industry. I feel for players, and I feel for my old self that's getting advice from people that I look up to, and I'm trying to better myself. And I'm trying to better myself as a player. I'm trying to get more minutes. I'm trying to become that guy. I'm trying to be the best player on my team. I'm trying to get the girl, be the best on the team. I'm trying to be that person, right? I'm trying to get all the fans all on my side. And then I hear stuff like this my entire life growing up, and I'm trying to fix it based on what people are saying. But the one thing that I needed was not them. I needed somebody to tell me, trust yourself. And nobody said that to me. And the problem is you have the most influential basketball player on the planet, arguably, telling people that they need to be thinking more about what they're doing and not trusting themselves. If he were to come out, and I don't care if this is for a commercial or masterclass, it's fraudulent. And it's not helping people. It's hurting people.
It's not hurting people. But where can people get the right information?
On my videos. You watch my videos, and your videos, you watch what we say, and a lot of what we do, it's all about how can we put you in positions where you could learn and you can trust yourself, because life is about doing something, and not just doing something, and then paying attention to the feedback on a win or a loss, on a miss or a make. You pay attention to the feedback coming in and you make a change. You have to make a conscious change, and you have to wake up and be focused. It's not a tip or a trick, and it's not just practice. It's not 500 reps. It's feedback.
The most important thing that we can teach young athletes is how to learn. Communicating in the way that Steph is here. Yes, he's the greatest shooter of all time. I believe he's a humble, good person who has not gotten any trouble ever. So I would not personally call him fraudulent, but I think teaching in this manner is not teaching athletes how to learn. And teaching athletes how to learn is the most valuable thing we can do. And bringing all this attention and giving them strict rules on how to do things, teaching athletes how to do is never going to be as successful as teaching them how to learn.
And let me just clarify, I'm not defining him as fraudulent. I'm not defining his personality as fraudulent. I do not know him. I would not
Your hair
define him.
looks amazing.
I would not define Steph Curry as a good or bad, fraudulent, not fraudulent, because I do not know him. What I'm saying is, if I were to put my money on it, this video is fraudulent because he has watched this video back and watched himself speak lies. That is fraudulent. This video is fraudulent. I'm not saying he's fraudulent. I'm not perfect. I've done things that are wrong. But this video in particular is not something I would advise you as a player that's trying to get better follow.
Would love to hear your comments, so do that below. So we broke it down, and what do we think? Good or bad drill?
Let's say it at the same time. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Bad drill. Steph, get better.
Yeah, facts, Steph. You got to figure your stuff out, man.
Your shooting is the goodest drill of all time, but how you're breaking down learning to shoot, bad drill, sir.
Respect from afar, 100%. Obviously, if you're a basketball player and you don't respect Steph Curry for the work that he's put in, you are fraudulent. But look, this video was a bad drill.
You should 100% study Steph Curry. Again, he is the greatest shooter of all time. Watch him shoot, watch him play, pick up as much information as you can from actually watching him do the thing that you want to do. One more time, this is a bad drill because Steph is telling you to do things that he does not do. Make it make sense.